Careful.
So, in 2009, I was a reporter at the Chattanooga Times Free Press, and it was my first job out of college, and it was really exciting and really scary and a really big deal for me. And one day, my editor says, go down and cover this missing person's press conference. Somebody has gone missing. Her name was Teresa Parker, and she was a 911 dispatcher in North Georgia. And it was kind of luck of the draw that day. I just got that assignment, and I had no idea what that was going to turn into for me. So what it turned into was a high-profile murder case. Teresa's husband was a police officer, and he was charged and eventually convicted of her murder. And I got to cover this. So it started as a daily assignment, and it went 2 years, at least 2 years, of me covering her being missing and police looking for her and her family and eventually the trial. So in 2009, I'm covering the trial, and it lasts 2 weeks, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning about the intricacies of the court system. I'm learning about asking hard questions and being in awkward, horrible situations dealing with this kind of topic. But I'm really proud of the work I'm doing, and it's going really well. And every day, I'm staying in Lafayette, so all I do every day is go to this trial, cover it, write about it, go to sleep, get up the next morning and do it. And one day, a bailiff comes to me and says, "Are you Chloe? The judge wants to see you in his chambers." And I was like, why would he want to see me? I'm thinking maybe they want me to testify, because sometimes journalists have to do that. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to think. And as soon as I got in that chamber, I realized there was cause for major freak out, because he immediately says to me, "Miss Morrison, it has come to my attention that you took a picture of the jury bus." And yeah, I had taken a picture of the jury bus, and the jury was sequestered, so that was a big deal. They definitely deserved their privacy. I was doing it, I was young, and I did it in an effort to get a picture to my editors who were asking for it. But it was against the court order, and I wasn't supposed to take a picture of them. So I'm back there with the judge, and there is a court reporter, and there's a bailiff, and the judge is pissed. And he says, you did this, there is no excuse for it, and I try to explain myself, and he just shuts me down. I think he probably didn't want me to incriminate myself. And he, lectures me a little bit and basically says, "Ms. Morrison, you have two choices. You can go out in front of everyone in the courtroom, and you can apologize, and you can look at the jury and you can apologize, or you can be held in contempt of court, and we can have a trial for you, much like the one you're covering now." So there was no choice for me. Of course I was going to apologize. He went on to kind of yell at me for a few more minutes, and I think I deserved it. Because, yes, I had made a mistake. That was the thing. I'm holding back tears the whole time. I'm determined not to cry as this judge is yelling at me. And I'm preparing to go out and apologize to everybody. And I take a deep breath, and I somehow know that I have to remain professional. I can't cry, I can't break down. I'm representing the paper that I loved and I worked for, and I was young and taking this all very seriously, as I should have. So I take a deep breath, and I go into the courtroom, and I stand in a mic like this, and the judge says, "Ms. Morrison has something she wants to say." And I have to look at the jury. I looked at all the jury, and I gave them the most sincere apology that I could give. I told them that I was sorry and that I didn't mean to hurt anybody. And then I took a deep breath and I stepped down, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank God that's over. I got through it. I didn't cry. I didn't have a panic attack. It's all okay. And then immediately I start thinking about, oh my God, what is my editor going to say? They might hear about it. I mean, this is a trial that was attended by lots of people in the community. It was on television. And I'm like having to call my editor and say, I just got in big trouble, I had to apologize in front of everybody, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she basically says, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. So where's that web update? When are you going to turn in your story? She didn't care. So she basically told me that I needed to move forward. And I tell this story because it's probably the biggest professional mistake that I've ever made. It was a mistake, I was wrong. But the lesson to me kind of is that sometimes you have to make a mistake, you have to own it, you have to apologize for it, you have to make it right in any way. And that lesson was greater than any lesson that I learned in college, unfortunately, because it would have been a lot cheaper to just be called out by a judge. But it really gave me this feeling of strength and confidence, and it helped me understand that if you make a mistake, sometimes all there is to do is own up to it and apologize for it, and that's what I did, and I was determined to do it in the most graceful way possible, even though I felt like a crazy person at the time. So it was just such a valuable lesson, and I'm so glad that I had it, and it's really good that we never published that picture that I did take, because the judge did say to me, he said, you know, you're really lucky that you haven't published it yet, because if you had, you would probably be held in contempt of court, and you could go to jail. And luckily, I got the lesson, I got the needed lesson, and I didn't have to do any jail time, and that is the best that I can hope for. Thanks.